Oh, you're in for a real treat.
If we can dream it, then we can do it. Yes, we can, yes, we can.
Hang on to them hats and glasses, 'cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hey Disney fans, come join the fun. Cory and Lawrence, the magic's begun. From the parks to the stories we adore, let's dive into the magic. There's so much more. It's the DIZPod, where dreams come true. With Cory and Lawrence, we'll explore with you. Entertain and teach every step of the way. With stories and facts, we brighten your day. From Disney history to tips and tricks, we've got the magic mix that always clicks. It's the DIZPod, where dreams come true. With Cory and Lawrence, we'll explore with you. Feel the magic, the joy and the cheer. Together we'll make memories year after year. The DIZPod, let's all sing along. With Cory and Lawrence, the magic's never gone. Bringing joy to your day in every way. In the DIZPod, where the magic's here to stay.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Cory, you muted.
Oh, all right. Hello. Welcome to episode 89. It's my guess.
89.
I am getting good. That's all I can say. I'm getting pretty good. So we're not live in Magic Kingdom tonight, as normal. So, hey, I'm glad everyone's here, and we figure everyone's going to show up looking for the live stream from Magic Kingdom, maybe. But yeah, definitely had a change of plans as the afternoon unfolded. Work needed to see a few more surgical patients, so had to go and do that. And luckily, we were able to pivot, and we will flip flop that. We are recording this live tonight on what is it? September, January, February, March. It's March 19th. And we're doing this on March 19th, which is a Wednesdays, and we'll do an unusual Thursdays tomorrow night, which isn't always that bad. We may introduce ourselves to some newer viewers on a different night. So that's always a good thing. And we do this live because we do it for all of you hanging here in chat on YouTube. And we also thank equally all of those that listen to us later on, no matter where you are, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, and Starlink. I'm just adding that one.
Okay.
We should be on Starlink too, I think, at some point. And so yeah,
that's to the upload schedule then.
Yes, please do that. So that's what we're doing, and I just want to thank our guest coming on very shortly, Aaron, for pivoting for us because we made it a little rough for him. Where we were supposed to do this on Tuesday, then work got a different business got in the way, and then my main job got in the way today. So tomorrow should be good. Schedule's planned. We should pull it off on time tomorrow. Fingers crossed that we can do that. So we did that, and so it was a crazy day, and my back was just, I'm still working through trying to correct my lower back through some tips and tricks and manual stuff that I know. Sometimes I overtreat myself. I get a little over aggressive with me, and I pay for it. So we're getting there, I think, and I hope. So I say that because I get home and I get ready for the podcast tonight. Not much time to do that, but I was running on time, and then I pulled in the driveway, and my neighbor is ripping up a medium-sized tree. Maybe it's a small tree. It's more like a small tree, but they have some strong roots. And I'm like, man. I just said hello and kept walking because I'm like, he's probably going to ask me to help him. Well, at 6:55 tonight, where we record at 7 p.m., I hear a knock on the door, and I said to Tammy, he's going to want me to pull that stump out with him. Sure enough, I was pushing and pulling that thing like an NFL lineman. I'm like, we got to get this done. I have a podcast to do in 5 minutes. So, just a few minutes ago, I was out there in the Florida sun, pushing and pulling on this thing, and we got it up though. We got it up. So Get
Wow.
it up and out. So here we are. What's going on, Lawrence?
You know, same old, just actually this week is a very busy week for me as far as YouTube, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But it's a busy week. Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Little tease.
Okay. Sounds good. So should we bring on our special guest this week?
Yes. I hear he's a newer channel.
Yes. He is a newer channel 3 times over. He's a 3-time champ with that. Maybe he's like one of those NFL coaches who like to take a franchise that's gone to a certain level, and then they're like, you know what? I need a new challenge. We need to go grab another team, a new team, and build that one up. Oh, we did that already. Okay, let's go get another team. No, but he has good reasons why he started.
Yeah.
He's changed his name. So it's technically, but I should know this. I'm thinking off the top of my head. So is it technically starting a new channel completely?
No.
Or changing the name? Just
No.
changing the name.
Yeah.
Did you just change the name? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to do and a tough decision. So we'll get into that with him, because I could never do it. I could never do it. I'd be scared to death. If you were like, all right, Cory, we need to change the branding, I'd be like, oh my, I don't know. But,
well, I asked you recently. I said,
you did.
Would you ever think of changing the name? I don't even think I finished typing it out before you were like, nope. Nope.
No. And like I was talking to Pete the other day, Pete McDevitt, the Pete McDevitt Show. Watch Pete. Pete is live 24 hours a day on the Pete McDevitt Show, doing something. And I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, man, you created a brand. Even I thought you were crazy. Like, what's this guy doing? DIZ, Diz that, Wednesdays, Diz that, Diztastic. He's like, man, you did it. He's like, you created a brand, DIZ.
Yeah.
It's how people know you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, the first day I realized that was when I was live on a Wednesdays or something, and one of the first people that came in chat said Happy Wednesdays. I'm like, oh, it's working.
It's working.
And I remember back then Jacob was like, Dad, why do you put Diz on the end of everything? Well, that's why. There you go. Just had some fun
Right.
with it, and there it is. Your mom, Purple Pleasure in chat, says, are those different headphones? Yes, these are 90th birthday Mickey Beats headphones that Jill got as a gift and never took them out of the box. I was trying to show them on the side. Never took them out of the box.
Mm.
And finally, I was like, can I use these? She's like, yeah. So I don't know if they're mine to keep. I think they are. So
At least
thank
for
Jill
now.
for those. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, hey, without further ado, we want to thank Aaron for coming on of Magical Horizons. He is the artist formerly known as My Disney World Fix, formerly known as Our Disney World Fix, now known as Magical Horizons. Aaron is like a son of mine, and I treat him that way. We have talks behind the scenes. I tell him like it is, and I try to shape him up when I have to, which he can do the same back to me. But yeah, I try to give him some guidance, and he's certainly done some things for us and the family and the channel too in the beginning, and we'll talk all about that. So without further ado, here's Magical Horizons, everyone. Aaron.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
How about that for an intro?
Yeah, although I would gotta say, I always considered us more like brothers, Cory.
Okay,
Man.
that works too. I mean, I think about it. I'm quite older than you. I hate to say that. So then I kind of went to the dad thing because
Yeah.
we
You're not
have good,
that much older than me,
productive conversations.
So if you
Well,
if you watched the Pete McDevitt Show last week, you saw that one of the questions was that I have a brother who's 22 years younger than me. So there were people that thought that Alexander was my son when I would go pick him up from school. They'd be like, Alexander, your dad's here. And both of us would laugh because I'm his older brother. So
Things get out of whack like that sometimes. Yeah,
mhm.
they do. Yep. So where do you want to start with Aaron?
So you've been streaming quite a while. Took a little break because life happens, which is
Oh yeah.
perfect, I think. But tell us kind of how you got started, why you got started, what made you decide to pick up your phone and a gimbal and go to the parks.
Well, not many people know this, but the channel actually started out as an Instagram account because the Instagram was started like 2 days before the YouTube channel because I wanted a place to try my hand at photography, like artistic photography at Disney.
Oh,
And so the YouTube channel came a couple of days later, and the first thing posted on the channel that was made for the channel was a New Year's Eve vlog I did on New Year's Eve 2018 into 19. And as for what made me pick up the stream and start live streaming, I was just curious if I could do it. It was just plain curiosity.
so
Who had you seen? Who
right.
would you see? Like, did anyone influence you? Because I have to say, some people might not believe me, but that's on you. I literally started our channel without even knowing if anybody else did this. I really didn't know if anyone else did this. And I just came up with the idea and said to the kids, we can show merch, we can do rides, we can try foods. Let's give this a try. Because I was writing articles for a website, my own website. And I just thought, well, let's carry that all over YouTube. And then after doing a few videos, I was like, let me go see if anyone else is doing this. And that's when I found Tim Tracker and others at that point. So I was like, oh, other people do this. But so what did you see that said, oh, I'm going to try that?
Well, the influence in actually starting the channel itself was twofold. One, I already knew people were doing Disney parks content, and I'm just like, well, I'm in the parks anyway, a lot anyway, as a pass holder. Might as well see if I can share my experiences. And as your motto goes, let them see Disney through my eyes. And the other influence was just simply Resort TV One. It was Josh.
Yeah, at the time, he was pretty much the only one out there live streaming, right?
He was. There was, let's see, if I remember correctly, there was him, Spokesman, and the other Cory were the
Okay.
three that I knew of. Prince Charming Dev was doing it too. Those were the four that I knew of.
Okay. Yeah, sounds about right. And then we came in on the second wave.
So at what point then do you pivot from doing Instagram photography to live streaming?
They actually ended up coexisting at the same time.
Okay.
For a while. So, because I still enjoy doing. I mean, I don't have a fancy camera. All my photos, if you go to the Instagram, they're taken with my cell phone, and then they're pushed through an editing process on an app called Snapseed. So they're not like super fancy, high fidelity photos, high pixel DPI, whatever you want to say. They're not super high quality photos, but I enjoy it because when I get that right shot, any photographer will tell you this, when you get that right shot, there's endorphins there.
Oh, and Aaron definitely has a talent for that. I love the photos he takes. He takes some of those right in front of me, and I'm like, whoa, nice eye. I don't have that eye.
I don't.
So just don't have it.
Yeah.
I think I'm better at filming angles, B-roll, but I do not have it when it comes to the eye for a photo. Although Aaron asked me to use one, so he must have liked it. I wish it was brighter, but the lighting wasn't great there.
Well, the photo that you gave me, I actually ended up using last night for the live stream at Epcot. So if you look at my part 2 stream last night, y'all, you'll see the photo that Cory took. And I'll admit it to you, Cory, I did put it through an editor to kind of like saturate the colors a little bit and all that.
Oh, sure. You know
Make
what?
it a
I
little
did
bit brighter.
too. I did too. I brightened it up and made it look a lot better. I don't know if I've used it yet, though. Have I used that one yet, Lawrence? Figment with the flowers around him? I did create it, so
I don't think you've used it on a thumbnail. But I don't think you've used it on Thunder, but I think I did see it on a community post.
Like a post? Okay, so
Mhm.
that one's up and coming then.
Yeah.
We'll throw it in there soon.
So
And as promised, you to give photo credit.
Yeah, I told him, give me some credit there. Only because he said that to me before.
yeah.
Hey, I'm a man of my word.
So your channel is then now 7 years old?
So the official anniversary of the channel is December 18th, 2018. So I believe that would make it 7 years later this year. So it's
Yeah.
roughly coming up on 6.5.
How many phone changes have you gone through in those 7 years?
Okay, so when I started the channel, I was on, let's see, what was I on? I was on a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and I was with Sprint. And if you go back to those early streams, they are awful in quality. I was broadcasting 720p, and even that was macro blocking to infinity and beyond, to put it in a PG way. I attempted a stream at Epcot. I gave up after 30 minutes because I could just not hold a signal.
Wow.
And so I didn't stream Animal Kingdom until just a couple years ago after we came back from the hiatus.
Mhm.
So that was phone one and service provider one. I think this was around, I want to say this was around Christmas 2019. I switched carriers to T-Mobile and upgraded to the Galaxy S10 Plus. So much better. I was able to hold a full 1080p stream, and it was nice. And we stayed on that for quite some time. When I went on hiatus and came back, by that point, I traded in my Samsung because the Samsung was also my personal phone. We didn't have a separate stream phone at the time. So when we came back from hiatus, all I had was my personal iPhone at that point. So that was an iPhone 13 Pro Max. And we streamed on that for a while until we finally got the stream phone. By this time, I'm on AT&T, by the way. That was a Galaxy S. What was that? That was an S23 Ultra, I believe.
Mhm.
When we got the stream phone. And we did that until just about a month ago when we switched carriers again. Now we're with Verizon and we have the S25 Ultra.
Now, I don't think many streamers are using two phones. Do you think that's true? Especially the way Cory uses it, so that you can watch one and stream with the other. But are there a good amount of streamers using two phones? A personal phone and
I
a
think
streaming?
it's more common than it used to be.
Hmm.
It is definitely more common than it used to be. Because I think the first person to do it was Josh at Resort TV One, if I remember correctly. And it slowly picked up over time.
Oh no,
So-
son. Oh no. That originated right here at DIZ. We were the pioneers of two phones. 100%. And I'll tell you what, Josh ran into me right in front of Haunted Mansion one day, and he was blown away by the setup. Oh my gosh, look at this. You're using two phones. That's great. I'm like, you're welcome to try it if you want to. And I explained to him what I was doing. So yeah, it did. It started with us, and it not soon after did I see two other channels use it, and did not thank me for it or acknowledge it. I said, nice equipment. Thank
I
you.
know
Okay, we'll see you later.
the setup that you use, Cory, is something that I'm kind of jealous of. I like the way you have your personal phone mounted to your gimbal, and you sent me that mount, and I just haven't had the chance to buy it and do it myself yet. But I do enjoy doing the two phones thing, even if my personal phone does sit in my pocket most of the time, because this way, one, I'm not eating up the data on my phone, my personal phone. I mean, technically it's supposed to be unlimited, but I've ran into issues with that. So the stream phone has its own data; it can do its own thing. And then there's also the fact that if I need to hand the stream off to Roxy, I don't have to worry about being without a phone.
True.
Well, if you did that, you would just kind of take it, but sometimes I give Tammy the stream and she takes that phone too, but I'm not without her too long. But for me, it gives me stream. Whereas I think Allison's in chat. We got a new word for the dictionary: stream anxiety. It gives me stream anxiety if I don't have two phones. I've been with two phones for so long. It's just it's a safety net for me because I can watch the numbers for signal that I'm getting, but I kind of pay attention to it more in places where I know I may lag or I see the numbers going down. And there's times I message Lawrence now to put it into perspective for people. I think Aaron tends to what do you try to hold currently? Like 4,000 kilobytes per second, maybe. I run like 13,000. There's sometimes that I message Lawrence while we're live and I'm like, how are we streaming on 300 kilobytes per second right now? But I can see it. I can see it on the secondary phone, so I know we're okay, but I'm still scratching my head.
Right.
It's a good backup system.
Yeah,
And
I
Aaron,
don't
just
have
so you
the
know,
glory of having a Lawrence in the background for me. So
Well, even before I had him, I did two phones, and I was able to look for myself.
Yeah.
See that, get that feedback.
I know that's another benefit of having a second phone. You can see how your stream is handling itself at the moment.
Yeah.
And Aaron, just so you're aware, the second phone holster really opens up pretty easily, so that you can pop out your phone. If you were to leave it with Roxy, you could pop out that second phone pretty easily and take it.
Yeah.
So you talked about some of the carriers that you were with. Have you ever been with a even not for streaming but for anything? Have you ever been with an odd carrier? I was once with Helio. You ever heard of Helio?
No,
I don't think so.
I was once with Straight Talk at Walmart.
Okay. All right. I know them well from my Walmart days. What about you, Cory?
My only carriers that I can remember is I went with Verizon, and we were very faithful for many, many years. Then we moved to Maine, and we picked up on U.S. Cellular. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
And then moving to here, we went back to Verizon, I believe, and then made the move to AT&T, thinking that, I don't know if it was because we thought signal might be a little bit better, or it was multiple reasons, but we switched to AT&T, and that's where we've been for several years. So, and as far as stream phones go, we started with an iPhone. I don't remember what model it was. What do you think that model was, Aaron? It was whatever if you had an iPhone back 6 years ago, it was whatever was new then.
I have no idea.
And I don't know if we ever upgraded the iPhone to another iPhone. We might have. And then we started Samsung. I think we went with the Samsung S21, then the 23, and now we're on the 25 Ultra. So maybe about 4 phones, 4 to 5.
I will say that I have found the Galaxy easier to handle when it comes to, maintaining signal or having to reset signal, because the thing with the iPhone, and most people don't know this, but on the back end, if you do anything like pull down the control center or anything, it stops sending signal out. That your camera pretty much freezes where it's at.
Yep. I've noticed
stops
that.
transmitting.
It's probably fair to say that the Samsung is probably the streamer's choice overall, right? In Disney World.
Oh yeah. And for good reason. You can't beat really the camera quality for live streaming. It's a workhorse, and the way that it holds the stream, it can do a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did I tell you that it has an energy saving mode for your battery?
No, I don't think you told me that.
Yeah, I think just when you pull it down, look at the menu. I think it's in there. It's a little leaf And
All right.
I tried it maybe the
All
second
right.
time out with it, and I feel like, of course, the conditions have to be right. It has to be a little cooler. Of course, it's going to charge faster at night, but I think I've seen that thing go from like 30% to 100 in like 90 minutes on that thing. So if the conditions are right, it'll shoot right back up.
I'll have to check that out. Right now, the stream phone is downstairs being used as a hotspot.
Mine is over my shoulder, all charged and ready to go for tomorrow.
So you start out streaming 7 years ago, and kind of take us. What was it like battling that signal and trying to look for signal? You're only using one phone at the time. Give us some highlights and some challenges that you faced.
If you go back and look at the early streams before we switched to T-Mobile, the Sprint streams, as I call them now, nearly every stream is split into two parts because it was inevitable I was going to crash at some point.
Oh.
Because when I first started, I was using the YouTube app. The YouTube app is not forgiving on losing signal.
Yeah.
And when they made the change where you needed to have 1,000 subscribers and the watch time to be able to stream using the YouTube app, I went on a minor hiatus because I didn't have the 1,000 subs at the time. I then learned from a channel called Touring the Galaxy that you could get around that by using Streamlabs. And once I figured that out, I went back to streaming, but I was still crashing every now and then. It was a lot better on Streamlabs because you could more precisely control things like bit rate and stuff, so it recovered better, especially if you paid for the app and it had the be right back screen. But it still happened occasionally, the crashing.
But give me one, maybe two biggest improvements that you've seen from then to now in live streaming.
Let's see. The biggest thing that I've noticed, probably the biggest thing, is the influx of streamers being able to use graphics on their streams if they choose to. Like we ourselves, we use, and y'all all do this too. We use on-screen graphics. We incorporate, music. Like yesterday when we were streaming at Epcot, I put on Happily Ever After because I needed to use the restroom. I didn't know how long I was going to be in there, and I didn't want them to stand at the standby screen for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, a lot of viewers don't like to stick around for that because they want to see what's happening live. Now, I'm just like, well, sorry, I can't show you the inside of the bathroom.
And
you don't want to see that.
No. So you like graphics. You also like the use of music. So, for example, tell us about last night during your World Showcase walkthrough.
So last night we did kind of a modified hybrid between my version of the walkout and Cory's version of the walkout because I just didn't have time to stay in the park and really do it last night the way that I prefer to, because as we're going to get into later, I had a date at Epic Universe today and I needed to get home and get some sleep for that because I knew we had to get up really early, so I needed to get out of there as quick as possible. But our normal walkout, our normal signature walkout, Roxy goes off Ariel and goes sits down on a bench, and what I do is I start in the center of the port of entry viewing area, which is the old Fast Pass viewing area for Reflections of Earth, if you remember. And I start there and I make one counter. Is it clock? No, that's clockwise. One clockwise lap around World Showcase, and we play the songs Promise, which was the exit song to Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. And then that gets followed up with the Tapestry of Nations, which is the soundtrack to the parade of the same name from the Millennium Celebration at Epcot. And this idea originated from the fact that if you back when Reflections of Earth was still happening, if you stayed in World Showcase after Reflections of Earth ended, they would play Promise and then Tapestry of Nations. And so this was my attempt to try and recreate that and recreate that peaceful feeling you had after all the crowds were gone
Mm-hmm.
and you were just in World Showcase. As the crowds left, it got quiet, it got peaceful, and it got relaxing. And this was my. Now it's not so relaxing for me anymore because I'm on a schedule to make one lap before these two songs play. So if you could hear the audio, the real audio, you would hear me going. But maybe not that severe, but it gets the point across. I'm huffing and I'm puffing to keep up because I'm doing some acrobatics almost. I am running it. I am jogging at times. I am walking fast. I am going upstairs. I am going downstairs. I am leaning down for camera angles. I am leaning up for camera angles. I am doing a workout during this, but hopefully the end result, and I know it is for some, it ends up being a relaxing view of the parks where the camera just never stops. It stays moving at all times.
I just wonder if anybody in chat doesn't know Aaron's favorite park. Like, you must not be watching Living in Diz or Magical Horizons if you don't know Aaron's favorite park.
There's a reason me
Blizzard
and Leo
Beach.
bond so well. Blizzard Beach, that's it. No, there's a reason me and Leo get along so well.
Yeah, it is also my favorite park, just so you know.
Although the way we term it in our family is me and Roxy both like Epcot and Magic Kingdom as our number one, but for me, Epcot just slightly edges out, so I call Epcot my 1A, Magic Kingdom my 1B. She does the opposite. Magic Kingdom's her 1A, Epcot's her 1B.
As a personal trainer, as one of my side gigs, do you ever plan on sticking in like any hurdles? And if you were to hurdle something during the World Showcase walkthrough, where would you do that?
Let's see, where would I do that? Probably in Japan as I'm going down the stairs. So I have some elevation.
Nice. You could do some long stepping, like maybe do 3 steps and at once instead of 2, one at a time, reciprocally. You could try that too.
I have challenged my moderators a few times. I think I've even challenged Lawrence once to keep up with me during my walkout. Can you do it? Do you think you can do it?
I have a certain pace
we didn't do
too.
that.
It's a slower walk through because I'm watching the time too. Because if I want to get back and do a little shopping, I've got to be out of there at a certain time too. So I will go slower through certain countries, and then you've got that spot between when China ends to Germany where there's really nothing to show. So that's when I kind of speed up the walk right there to make up some time, and so there's areas to speed it up too, which is important to stay on cue.
I have cues in the songs that I have, figured out. I need to be at this point in the walkout by this point in the songs. Like,
that's smart.
A good example. I could give you 2 examples. 2 examples. The first one, when the song is switching over from Promise to the Tapestry, I need to be on the drawbridge. That's where I need to be.
Okay. I'm gonna try to remember that.
Towards the end of during Tapestry of Nations at the end, where it kind of like swells, and I don't really want to sing it, but if you pay attention to it, towards the end, the music really just swells, and I need to be in Canada at that point. If I'm not in Canada when that plays, I am hustling to get caught back up.
Wow.
Nice. You could do a short swim and just hit the water at some point and swim over to Canada. It might be quicker. That'll be the swim portion of it.
So he's doing it. He's doing
the problem I run into the most. The problem I run into the most is that after that swell, I'm hitting my mark, but after that, I'm still, even to this day, still trying to figure out my pace from Canada to the end point, so that I don't have to sit there and awkwardly just stare in one spot while I wait for my cue to do the sweep around World Showcase before I turn to Spaceship Earth.
Probably
There's
just
and
have to
I've
walk
hit it
slower,
a couple
right?
times.
so
Yeah,
much that goes
it's
into
a matter
live
of
streaming, and
walking
people don't
slower.
know.
Yeah, so that's Aaron's thing, right? And he thinks real hard on that and gives full effort to pull off what he feels like is a great thing to do. So that's a lot of planning and timing and thinking. Just like people, to people watching me, it probably looks like, yeah, I'm just strolling. We're just strolling along. No, I've got time in my head too. I'm looking at, when I reach every country or every other, I'm looking to see what time we got, because I've got to be done with Canada with about 10.
No, I think we lost him.
I know I'm getting kicked every now and then, like I was doing earlier. You just see me disappear. It's because it says, "Thank you for joining. Would you like to reconnect?"
Yeah. All right.
Yes, please.
We'll we'll let Cory reset there. So, do you have a favorite ride to stream? Like, is there one that's like, this is the one I love to live stream for the audience?
Oh, let me think here. Think quickly.
I'm gonna switch.
I don't think there's.
I'm gonna put you
Uh-oh.
in so we're not watching Cory.
I'm standing by.
Yeah, just stand by.
While you do that, I'll talk.
Yeah.
As for favorite ride that I like to stream, I don't know. I know that there are certain shows I like to stream more than others. But as for rides, if I have to pick one, I like streaming Rise because you get to hear a lot of people's first reactions to Rise of Resistance, especially that drop when the escape pod drops. A lot of people have never done that before. They're not expecting it, and it just drops, and you hear a lot of people scream.
Love it. I absolutely love that. Love that park. I love that part of the ride. What's your what's your favorite show to stream?
Lately, it is Luminous because where we like to watch, we're usually near one of the perimeter cannons.
Okay.
And you saw it last night, actually. We were sitting there, we were watching Luminous, and the cannon goes off. The perimeter cannon goes off.
Yes.
And there's two girls right in front of me, two like tween girls, and the cannon goes off, and they both scream. Very short, but very loud and sharp, because it startled them. And I know it sounds mean, it's cruel, but it's just an inevitability about being in the park.
So the part he's talking about, I heard that last night during his stream, and I could hear those. I don't know if you guys do it, but I listen for those moments sitting here in the studio, like when I'm doing Cory's stream. So last night during your stream, I was listening for that to see how many people, it kind of shocked. And especially right where you were right there in front of it. So that thing went off, and you could tell they have never seen the show or never seen it from right there. And it was like, bang.
Yes. I used to be able to do that with Phantasmic too, because the old Pocahontas scene that's no longer in the show, the cannon fire would used to go off and startle a lot of people, and you would get some people jumping 6 feet like a cat to the ceiling.
Isn't that weird? Because Phantasmic has been around a long time, and there are still so many people that have never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, folks, you got to watch Phantasmic if you've never seen Phantasmic. I'm just saying, it's a great show.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing like it.
It's an amazing show, and if you've watched me long enough, and Cory knows this because he's been my friend long enough, I am very much a big kid at heart. And so and Sorcerer Mickey, if you can't tell, is my favorite version of Mickey. So when Sorcerer Mickey shows up in Phantasmic, if you look over at me, doesn't matter if I'm streaming or just watching, you will find me in tears over there at the side of Sorcerer Mickey showing up.
There's just something about him appearing on that mountain that just, like you said, I don't care how many times you've seen the show, I don't care how old you are, it just hits you. It's just something about it.
Yeah, it's towards the end
And
of the
it's just
climax
been like
of the
that.
show, right? And the music is just swelling right there, and you can feel the ending coming, and it's like it's almost like victory kind of music. And then boom, if you haven't seen the show, he appears right before your eyes on this mountain, which nobody could even have imagined coming in watching that show for the first time that anybody would even appear up there. So it's just so
Oh, yeah.
cool. I love that part so
He-
much.
He is literally the only character that appears on top of that mountain. Now you have other characters that appear near the top on the side of the mountain, but he's the only one that appears actually on top of it.
Yep.
Walt would be proud.
Did you see,
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, did you see the other night when there was no boat?
What?
There was
No,
no
I
boat.
missed that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was possible, but I guess it is with any moving parts.
Yeah. There was no boat. So they just put all the
Which-
characters were on the
This
mountain.
is- I do know of that B mode. I do know of that B mode. I just haven't seen it in person.
You know, and that's something that I like about Disney too, is that if there's something wrong, for the most part, they'll try to put the show in B mode or C mode, or heck, there's probably even D mode for Luminous that I've seen. Because the other night, I don't even know if Cory caught it, but he was streaming Luminous and the cannons were not operating, which we have seen, right? In high winds or high water, they don't operate the perimeter cannons. But they had the interior cannons act as the perimeter cannons, and I had not
I
seen
did
that
notice
before.
that.
That was wild.
I almost think, by my recollection, they shot the cannons on the other half of where we were, and just not the ones where we were.
Oh,
that not
maybe,
right?
maybe I'd have to look back, because I know I caught the interior cannons, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Excuse me, but there was also a night. Good,
No, I was going to say there was a night a couple weeks ago on a Sunday. One of our viewers said, "Okay, I'm going to go to bed, but I'm going to watch Luminous before going to bed." So he went to another streamer to watch it, and he came back and said, "Hey, they didn't fire off the fireworks for Luminous. It was just water fountains only."
Yeah, it's very peaceful when they do that, but it's also like, hey, that's like the majority of the show there. But it is
Yeah,
very, very peaceful.
It is a fireworks show.
Yeah.
But, better to see something than nothing, for sure.
Yeah.
So you got to applaud Disney for that. Shannon Woods will probably suspend her from the channel for 90 days because she said she would take Fantasmic and replace it with World of Color. So we're going to have to suspend her
Oh no!
for that. We'll see you in 90
That's a
days,
shame.
Shannon. Just kidding, Shannon. Just kidding. Everyone has the right to their own.
I do have a funny moment that happened during Luminous last night. I don't know if the camera caught it, but behind me there was a family, and it got to the end of, I think it was the friend segment, the play segment, where they're doing a Friend Like Me and everything like that. And it got to the end of that segment, and they were cheering and laughing, and then it went on to the next segment, and they're like, "Oh, there's more."
They thought that was
They
the
thought-
end. Ooh.
They're like,
Well,
"Oh,
when I'm
there's
on
more."
Main Street, I'm always looking around me for families, people who have never seen Happily Ever After, because you could mistake it. You could mistake the very end, not so very end before Tinkerbell flies, that this is it. He's like, "Go on, take your dreams with you," whatever he
Yes.
says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
that
it's-
narration.
yeah, things have calmed down, and I do see people turn around and start leaving, and I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna miss a great moment here."
Oh yeah.
And
It-
so
It is usually one or two reasons they're leaving. They either think the show is over, or they're trying to beat the crowds out.
I
and you know
just-
what? Here's a big thumbs down to all of you parents. All of you parents are horrible. You are a terrible parent. I don't care if you wined and dined the kids the entire trip. You were there for a 10-day vacation. You did it all. You bought the bubble ones. You did everything. The T-shirts, everything. All the character meal, everything. But you walk out of like Phantasmic with 5 minutes to go. They don't even get to see the ship. I mean, the boat. And you don't see Mickey. Like, sit down. And that just goes to everybody at any kind of event, right? You just get up and walk out before it ends. Why did you bother to go?
If you look at my recording of Phantasmic that I have on the show from pre-pandemic, you can see someone towards the end of the show when the boat is coming, someone gets up and leaves before the finale is over.
I feel bad for these kids. I see little kids all the time heading up the walkways with the parents, and they don't get to see the whole thing. That's a horrible judgment call by the parents. Sorry, not sorry.
I don't know why you would do that. I mean, we love fireworks in this house, so we definitely are not going to miss any type of show like that. Plus, we're night owls anyway. But yeah, I couldn't imagine walking out. Listen, I used to live across the street from Shea Stadium and Citi Field. I went to 40 home games a year. The only in my entire time going, well, I only left a game early once, and I think the Mets might have been losing, let's just say 11-2, and it was about 40 degrees outside, and it was a free ticket. Outside of that, I never left. They were winning, losing, cold, I'm there, but at that point I had to be at work the next morning, so it was time to go. But you can't, I mean, that stuff's a once in a lifetime to be able to see, especially for some of these folks that aren't lucky enough to go to the parks as much as Cory and Aaron. It's a once in a lifetime thing to see these shows. Please don't get up and leave. It's so worth it.
I'm with you on that too. I mean, I've been to games where the Red Sox were down, the Patriots were down, no chance to win. My butt doesn't leave that seat till the last tick of the clock.
Yeah.
You know.
I always say, and I've said this, I think I've said this to Cory quite a few times, and I know I've said it to Roxy. I sometimes have these moments where I'm standing in the middle of, say, Magic Kingdom or Epcot, and I have this moment of self-realization. I am doing this thing very frequently that some people just dream about doing once. And I feel so privileged and so humbled and honored to be able to do it.
That's nice to hear you say that, because it's something that I've always done with myself and I've done with the kids, just to check reality. It's easy for us to take it for granted, right? It's so easy. It's so easily accessible for us. We show up and we do it. But I think it's important to check in with yourself and say, wow, I am really lucky to do this. I am doing something that some people may never see in person or only see once a year, whatever the circumstances are. It's easy for us. And, you can feel that, right? If you watch a Disneyland stream, for me, that's a bigger deal. Like, wow, oh, look what they're seeing. Wow, look what they're doing. Because I can't access that. So I can kind of see the other side of it too. But I'll never forget this one time. We were entering Epcot through the, what is it, the port of entry? No. Did I say that right?
International Gateway?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get those two confused. So International Gateway, we're coming up the walkway, and Mickey's there, and I think it was even an adult, a female, just ran up to Mickey and gave him a big hug. And I stopped the kids. I'm like, that's what it's all about. Don't ever take this for granted. Look at the joy on that family to meet Mickey right now. So I always try to check in and remind myself.
So Purple Pleasure was asking, when do you typically stream currently?
So our normal schedule right now, and we are discussing changing it, but as of right now, the normal schedule is Sunday afternoon and evenings. What we typically do, we go to church in the morning, and then we rush home, have lunch at home, and then we rush to the parks so that we can usually fail, but attempt to start by 4 p.m. And we'll take you through close. We close it down.
And we look forward to that stream. It's something to do on Sunday afternoon. No matter what else we're doing, we like to throw the stream on and just enjoy what they're doing. So yeah, Aaron, if Aaron has to switch up for his schedule, we give him a hard time. He was home. He was supposed to stream
They
a few
do.
weeks ago, and I got on the horn, and I'm like, Aaron, you got to stream. I talked him into it. He went to Disney Springs, so we thank you for that.
We ended up at Disney Springs that night, and if you watch the streams, if you look at the thumbnail in the bottom left hand corner of our new style since we switched over to Magical Horizons, you'll see it say live, and then on the other side of that is a subtitle. You'll either see Refreshing Sunday or Relaxing Sunday, and those are just two different stylish streams that we do. Refreshing Sunday is that normal, go hard, write as much as you can, have a plan, do what you need to do to make the most out of the day. And then you got the other side of that. You'll see Relaxing Sunday show up sometime, and that is just the we go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. We're here to relax.
All right, that's a good point because I do see those different titles from you, and I didn't know if going in, during the stream, if you really changed it up in any way. So now I see you definitely have
No,
a plan behind the title.
It's a subtle nod to our plan for the day.
Shannon Wood says, "What is your favorite ride, and are you planning on going to Mardi Gras and Epic?"
Let's see. Favorite ride at Disney World right now is probably Guardians. If you'd asked me just a year and a half ago, I would have said Splash Mountain, hands down, no competition. But unfortunately, it's not there anymore. So I had to get a new favorite, and it is Guardians. And as for Epic, I was there earlier today. Don't tell anyone.
Well, let's talk about Epic. Are we ready to talk about Epic? Or do you have more
yes.
questions?
No, we can. That was a great segue, Shannon. She redeemed herself for the
You
world
can
of
stay,
color.
Shannon. You can stay.
Let me see. I had some. Let me see if I have pictures of it. So Aaron, you went to Epic today. You broke in,
Yes.
climbed over the gate, got
Yeah.
in.
Had a harness and everything to keep from getting punctured by the gate. And yeah.
So
Then
how was it?
Then I just
What did you see, and how did you escape security?
Yeah, tell us about the whole experience.
and yeah, I had to use a Jedi mind trick on a couple security guards. No, I'm kidding. When they announced the team member previews, because if you've watched my channel long enough, you know that I was a team member up until recently, and I was expecting to be able to do the previews on my own accord. And when I got let go in October, I thought I was going to miss out on everything. So when they announced the team member previews officially, I got on my Facebook page and I literally said, "Hey, team member friends, don't forget about me when they do the family and friends preview." And sure enough, I had one of the friends reach out and offer me a spot in one of their family and friends previews. So today was our day. It was me, Roxy, and Ariel, our team member friend, and one of her other friends. And we walked into the park at Rope Drop today just before 10 a.m. and it was, you could tell the place was brand new. The trees are new. It's not really, encasing the park yet, because that's the thing with trees, they got to grow in. So you can, if you look in the right spot, you can see out of the park where you're not really supposed to, because the trees haven't grown in yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell everything's new. They're still doing some minor touch-ups in places, getting some final construction done. But it was amazing that the team members were excited to welcome guests in. I definitely one among the first non-team member guests to experience the park, and it was just amazing.
So how did the day lay out? Could you roam wherever you wanted to? Were there designated areas? Did they want you to try one thing first and then move to the other?
No, it was just like a normal day in any other theme park. You could go where you wanted. As long as it was a guest-facing area, you could go where you wanted.
All right. So did you reach,
And
what is it, all 4 areas?
We did end up in every area, at least for a little bit. we did go to the first thing we did was the I think it's called the Constellation Carousel, which is in the center of Celestial Park, and that is a carousel unlike anything you've ever seen. Because most carousels you see, they're refurbished, carousels from the late 19th or early 20th century. This was specifically built for the park, so it has newer technology in it, and it was crazy because it not only goes forward, it goes backwards, it twirls you. I mean, I'm not saying it throws you upside down, but it spins. It was interesting. And, most carousels, they're connected, top and bottom of the vehicle to the carousel. This carousel, the vehicles on top of the poles, just have a like a Saturn planet on top that lights up and glows.
Hmm. That's going to be the ride Cory gets on first. He loves
I'm
carousels.
thinking I'm only going to watch that one from afar.
Yeah.
Especially backwards.
The
That's crazy.
The music is it mind you, it's still a carousel. It's still gentle, Cory. It's still a gentle ride. Ariel could ride it.
Okay, I might then.
And
I have to psych myself up for the Prince Charming one.
the music in the the music in that attraction though is amazing because you either get this kind of almost like EDM music on it, or you can get this grand orchestral music on it. It just depends on which turn you get. And we got some orchestral music on our turn, and those French horns started playing, and I was blown away by the music because I love a good French horn solo. That's the music geek in me. And
that's something you hear every day. I love a
good
French horn solo.
Oh yeah, French horns are amazing.
I can appreciate that.
So okay, so you ended up in that land. That's where you went first?
That's where we went first. We were actually we were heading to do Nintendo first, but Nintendo was a delayed opening, so we were on our way to instead do Dark Universe instead as our first land, and that was just on the way, so we stopped for a moment.
Okay.
And then we ended up in Dark Universe after that.
Okay. It's I've probably looked more at Super Mario World than anywhere else. Is that the driving land for you over there, or are they kind of all evenly split? What do you think?
Well, as a team member, I worked in Wizarding World of Harry Potter for 2.5 years. So that was my beck and call. I could not wait to get over to the Ministry of Magic Land. And we didn't get there till after lunch. And we got there, and the headline attraction, the only real attraction in Ministry of Magic, was not operating. But you could walk the queue, and we walked into the queue. You walked the queue inside the Ministry of Magic.
Stay tuned next week where we hear his reaction on the Harry Potter queue.
To the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, we lost Aaron for a second. There he is.
It just keeps saying, "Thank you for joining. Would you like to reconnect?" Yes, please.
I promise I'm not kicking you out.
Anyway, as I was saying, I walked into Ministry of Magic and was just blown away at the level of theming it. It was amazing.
Did it exceed your expectations?
Far and above.
Was it more impressive than what you've seen in Islands of Adventure in Harry Potter World?
Yes, absolutely.
And it's newer, so there's probably newer technology that you've seen there too. That stands out.
I don't want to give away too much because I know y'all have your date coming up, and I don't want to spoil everything, but I'll just say that the queue for the Ministry of Magic ride is downright amazing, jaw-dropping.
What was it like to see Mario World in person? It just looks, even overhead shots, it just looks like a model. You can't get by it because it's so cartoony. It's video gamey.
No,
What was that like?
it fairly well puts you into Mario's world. You can't really see outside the land. It's tall enough that you can't see outside it, so you get fully immersed in it, and it fits it. The thing that probably threw me off, and it's if I have any nitpick of the land, this is it. It's that you enter on the top level, and you have to, with a stroller, you have to find the elevator to be able to get down. And there's only, from what we saw, only one elevator that will take you up and down the levels.
See, that doesn't sound like good design right there, because there's going to be plenty of families with that. I could see a lot of backup, couldn't you? Needing to use the elevator as you enter and exit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Especially because a lot of that park, well, I guess you have the How to Train Your Dragon area, but I was going to say that in that park, families going to gear themselves towards Super Mario World all day long. So it's going to be tough.
And the thing is that to enter Mario World, you enter each land through the portal, and you've seen the portals teased in the promotional materials, but you do actually enter each land through a portal, and Mario's portal is the only one you have to go if you're on foot. You enter an escalator up to the top level of the land. And so literally for us with the stroller, it was off to the side to a side hallway to get on an elevator to go up to the top level, walk into the land, and then to be able to get on the bottom level, walk around the land to the backside where the elevator is to go down to the bottom level.
So when having to do that, does it take you out of the immersion? Or did you still feel
taking out of the immersion? I probably still felt fairly well immersed. It was just it was confusing.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't believe that they didn't have like ramps.
Yeah.
So when you're entering Mario World, you are already you're above it. You're above everything.
Yeah, you're on the top level.
So did they dig a hole? Like, is Mario like down lower than the other lands?
Well, like I said, when you enter Mario World, you're going up escalators to the top level.
Oh, you're taking escalators to get up there. Huh. Okay. Different. That's different.
And when are you going, Cory?
We are going, I think, May 25th.
Okay.
Which is a Sunday. It is a Sunday. It's whatever Sunday follows Memorial Day.
Shannon has a question. I'm going to go ahead and answer it. She says, what do you think about Ohana closing? Ohana closed for the night because there was some sort of issue and it reopened. But yes, there were media outlets that were reporting Ohana closed after 27 years. It just closed early.
Whoever reported that, they need to take their reporting license away.
It just closed early. Yeah, we were joking about that today. I don't think I've said on the show. So on Facebook, there's a group called Walt Disney World Adults Only, and it's a group geared towards obviously just adults only. And so I have joined that group as a moderator, and I'm also a news writer for them now. And so the news team today, we were joking about that because we're like, what kind of reporting is that? You just Ohana closed after 27 years, but you didn't bother to say that it closed for, an hour or something like that. It's just ridiculous.
People that write lines like that to get you to click are just as bad as scammers and telemarketers.
Yeah. It's like National Enquirer.
Clickbait.
National Enquirer. Okay, so you get to Super Mario World, and what do you do there?
We did 2 rides in Super Mario World. We did the Mario Kart attraction, which was really fun. They give you this visor because it's an augmented reality ride. So you get the visor, you go through the pre-show. When you get on the attraction, you sit down in a physical cart, and then you have to reach down, grab the goggles, and they clip onto your visor. And then you have this augmented reality goggle in front of you. And with that, you look around, find your targets, and then on the physical steering wheel in front of you, you have a button to push to shoot the shells. And so your job is to accumulate at least 100 coins. I got 98.
So I have a goal. Jacob follows a lot of feedback online for different things, movies, park reactions to new attractions, things like that. He told me a long time ago, even before, could have been before Epic was even announced, because Mario Kart, has existed in Japan. He said people were very unimpressed by that particular ride. How did you feel? Like, I guess the augmented reality he heard isn't great. What do you really think about that particular ride in response to those kind of national reactions or world reactions?
The ride itself, if I have to put it on a Disney scale, that it felt very much like a D or C ticket. And I'm always a proponent of, if you treat the ride like it's intended to be, not an e-ticket, if it's not an e-ticket, you'll enjoy a ride a lot more. And as for the ride itself, you treat it what it is, just take it for what it is. I kind of enjoyed it. I don't know if I would do it every time I was at Epic if I was there, but it's definitely something fun to do every now and then.
Okay, that's a fair thing to say, and it kind of goes along with what I guess the masses think of that ride over in other countries. So that's good to know going in, and that's a good philosophy. Thinking about, okay, where do I kind of rate this ride, and then you can kind of set your expectations that way, right? We did Villain Con, which is one of the worst rides in the major parks in Orlando. We did that the other day just because it was there and there wasn't. It was the best thing for us to do at the moment, so we did Villain Con, and we know that's like a G ride. That's a G ticket right there, or a Z. It's one of those, and we did it, and we knew what to expect, and we just blasted at things and laughed and had a good enough time for what it is. So that's a good way to attack your thoughts going into different rides.
Well, that was one of the rides that I was cross-trained at, and so I've done it many times as a result. And it's one of those things that is just supposed to be fun, competitive with the family.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really supposed to be this blow-you-away ride.
Yeah.
Crockett says, we've done the Mario Kart at Universal California several times. The visor falls off the headset a lot during the ride if you look down too far. Did you notice that during yours? Or
I did not notice that during mine, but you gotta remember, the ones here in Orlando are brand new.
right?
So all the clips and stuff to hold it in place are brand new, so they're not worn in yet.
Yeah.
See me in 6 months. We'll see if they're still holding on.
So
Go
I
ahead,
was gonna say, also there is Minecart Madness. You did Minecart Madness? That's the Donkey Kong attraction,
We
right?
did do Minecart. That was the other ride we did. And, it's a roller coaster. So you're expecting a roller coaster. It's a family coaster. And it's supposed to be like a runaway minecart. Because if you've played the old Donkey Kong levels, that's one of the types of levels is the runaway minecart. So, I'm expecting something, kind of mild, maybe a little jittery at some points. Because, it's a runaway minecart. That thing was way more intense than I was expecting, but it is still a family coaster. So we got off the ride. We were laughing. We enjoyed the heck out of it. But we said, okay, we don't need a chiropractor anymore.
Oh. Was it smooth, though? Was it smooth?
It was smooth. It was a smooth track. It just jerks you because it's a runaway minecart.
Mm-hmm.
So it jerks you
it's
more like
simulated
on the
that.
turns, like quick turns,
Yeah.
like kind of like Spaceship Earth, like
Exactly.
quick left,
Quick
right.
turns, quick turns, quick drops. You know,
I said Spaceship Earth. I meant Space Mountain.
it's kind of like, if I had to compare it to anything, if you know the type, it's like a Wild Mouse coaster in how it jerks you.
Okay, that's a good comparison. What was it like? Everybody knows that the biggest or the most talk about that coaster is jumping the track. What did it feel like to jump the track?
It was disorienting, because if you don't know the ride system, basically the real track is underneath this fake track, and so what you see is a minecart track that you're riding on, and you just see the cart continuously leave it, hop other tracks, and it's cool, but it's also disorienting the first time because you don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
It must even freak you out just a little bit, to
Mm-hmm.
know, oh, okay, we're off the track now. Okay,
Oh
we're
yeah,
back on. Which that's again what Space Mountain feels like, right? We're off the track, we're back on.
there's one part towards the end where you go down a drop and you go over water, and me and Roxy noted to each other, this would be a good area for like a little splash effect because you're over water. And we didn't have one. I don't know if it was disabled because they're still working on it, if there is one or if there isn't. But there wasn't one when we rode. There was no splash effect.
Good idea. I mean, it's Florida, it's hot, get a little sprinkle. No one would really complain about that. So
No.
that's a good opportunity to do that.
So
Anything
what
else
else?
about
What
Mario
are the
Land?
big attractions did you see, or the lands that you walked through that really caught your eye?
Dark Universe was very immersive. They had walk around characters, and one of them was Igor. And we did one attraction in there. We did what's it called? The Frankenstein Experience, Monsters Unchained, I think it's what it's called.
Yeah.
And basically the ride system, if you've been to Universal at Islands of Adventure, it's Forbidden Journey with a different theme. You're sitting in a seat, you're on the robot arm, and it swings you around. And of course, this one is, of course, themed to the classic Universal monsters. And I can't speak to it too much because it was my first time on the ride. I didn't know what to expect as far as my glasses. So I took my glasses off and put them in my pocket. So most of everything was a blur. Most of what I experienced was blurred vision and listening to the audio.
Now, looking back, could you do it with your glasses on?
I said, yeah, I think I could do it with the glasses on, especially if you got a new pair and they're fit right. They're going to stay put.
Okay.
So Monsters Unchained, is that a coaster?
It's like Forbidden Journey. You're on the robot arm.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think I did Forbidden Journey the other day. I actually think I kept my glasses on and I was okay. Sometimes I take them off.
Yeah, I keep my glasses on Forbidden Journey, and I think going forward I'll keep my glasses on Monsters Unchained as well.
Okay.
So one complaint that a lot of people have about Universal Studios are the screens. There's a lot of screens, and a lot of people thought, they're going to make a new park and it's going to be all screens. You haven't really mentioned anything about screens, so...
Let's see. It was a good mix of physical sets, screens, and even some of the characters are... If you've gone through the pre-show for, oh my gosh, Escape from Green Gots, when you get to the pre-show scene, you've got Bill Weasley, and he's doing the pre-show, and it's almost using kind of like a Pepper Ghost effect.
Mm-hmm.
He's projected on a screen, but he's made to look like he's actually standing there and not just a screen.
Yeah.
There was a lot of use of that effect.
Okay.
Oh, again, they're using that. Okay. Yeah, I like that, though. That's pretty cool. Just like you said with Weasley, there's a real set there. There's a real desk, and he's interacting with one of the goblins there, or whatever they are. And I like it. I enjoy that. Now, what about the animatronics in the new Frankenstein experience? I feel like on social media, Universal really touted just state-of-the-art animatronics there. What'd you think of those?
They were really smooth, very impressive. If you've ridden Mummy, you know how cheap that Mummy looks.
Yeah, they need a revamp with
Very
that.
rubber. But in Dark Universe in particular, on Monsters Unchained, what I could see, they were very smooth operating. They were pretty realistic, and it looked really good from what I could tell with my blurred vision.
Did that attraction exceed your expectations?
Oh yeah, it I'm not going to say it blew them away, but it definitely exceeded them.
All right. Out of everything you did today, is there anything going forward in visiting that would be a must do for you every time if it was possible, whether it was the carousel, Monsters Unchained, Mario Kart, or Minecart Madness?
My top two things that I did today were Monsters Unchained and Minecart Madness, and I would definitely do those again. I reserve judgment on the Isle of Berk because we did walk into the Isle of Berk, but we ran out of time to ride things. We were in line for one of the rides, and I looked down. It was 4:30. I'm like, okay, we got to go to make it home in time for the DIZPod.
Well, that's nice. I mean, if you could have stayed longer, I would have understood. So that's nice of you to have left to come. So we appreciate that. More than words can say. What would you say from your experience today, if you could imagine, being someone who has worked in parks, someone who's visited parks quite often, anticipating a bigger crowd in that environment, are there any tips that you can give to any of us that you think might arise on day one? Whether it's, you should go to, I think you should go to this park first, this area first, or that one, because Jacob and I discussed that strategy, based on what you really want to see and also what's going to get crazy busy at some point where you may not have a chance to ride something. So it's kind of balancing all those things out.
Now, notwithstanding that we didn't get to ride the Harry Potter attraction because it wasn't operating today, but based on the queue alone, I think that one's going to be very busy and it's going to be very popular.
The Harry Potter?
Yeah.
We think so too.
The Nintendo Land as a whole I think it's going to be very busy as well. Monsters, I think everything's going to have a fair amount of busyness to it. I can't really think of anything that sticks out. Monsters Unchained might be fairly busy. I know it got up to a pretty good wait while we were there. We didn't ride it, but was it Stardust Racers? The racing roller coaster, the dueling roller coaster, got fairly busy during the day.
Yeah, that's getting some good feedback. That one, that's getting good feedback.
Did that look impressive in person? Because on video, when I'm seeing it, it looks impressive.
It looks pretty impressive in person. I didn't have time to really stand there and look at it and watch the vehicles really go by. I kind of caught a glimpse of it as I was walking by, but what I got a glimpse of looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think for us, I forgot what we said, but it's going to be doing Dark Universe and or Harry Potter first. That's going to be 1 and 2 for us. And then Mario. Then we'll probably spend quite a bit of time over in Mario World. And then save Isle of Berk for last.
The roller coaster in Isle of Berk was delayed when we went through, and we didn't have time to wait for it to come back up. But the track alone looked like it would be pretty impressive for a family coaster. So I would give it a shot.
Would you compare it to like a Slinky Dog in intensity and shape and all that?
Shape, I noticed the turns on that roller coaster they're banked pretty steep. So I don't know what the speed is on it.
Yeah, there's some banking on that one.
There is some serious banking on that one. So I don't know what the speed is, but it looked pretty impressive.
Crockett in chat says, do you think the portals into each land will cause a lot of congestion in one spot for photos, similarly to how the dragon at Diagon Alley causes? I think it will. Jacob and I talked about this. I think funneling everybody into one place could really get congested, unless, are the portals wider than we actually think from photos?
If I have to compare the width of the portals, they're probably I'm going to use a road as an example, like a highway. They're probably as wide as, I want to say, 2 lanes,
Okay.
two,
That's
two
pretty
maybe
good.
3 lanes.
All right, that's pretty good space.
That's pretty wide.
And I don't know if this will be the normal thing when normal operation has happened, but they also had alternate entrances and exits to the lands as well today.
Okay, Jacob did see that on the map. He said there are alternate. So he did see that correctly then.
Yeah.
Cool.
And are you going when it first opens, Aaron?
Nope, this was my only experience for some time. I don't know when we'll be back.
Okay.
Which is disappointing me because I didn't get to ride the Harry Potter ride.
Yeah.
That's the same thing for us. It is not cheap. You can get a pass holder discount, and I believe roughly it's $135 per ticket for most days. So, at the time of purchase, we only Jill didn't get a ticket. Jill didn't get a ticket because we weren't sure if she was going to be here at that time. So we got to get Jill there too. So I may buy tickets when Jacob's in Japan, maybe, and then Tammy and Jill and I will go. So we got to get her there too. But I don't want to drop too much. I mean, you're talking over $500 for a family of 4 for one day. And it's kind of like, when is Universal going to release an annual pass holder package? So I'm kind of waiting for that, and I'll jump on that. But I don't want to drop $500 a few times a year for it. So we're going to really take in day one and possibly or most likely go one more time in the summer. And then who knows when we'll go again, unless the bug really bites us and we're like, okay, we got to go again. So Universal has a plan. I don't know when the pass holder, someone predicted maybe in a year they'd go annual pass. And we've talked about that, right? How will they do it? And how do you think they should do it? Do you think they should it be an add-on? Because you can do Universal and Islands, which we have. We didn't elect to get Volcano Bay because we wouldn't go. So are they just going to tack it on? Or are they going to pull a fast one on us and go separate for Epic? Which I think would be more expensive.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they would just tack it on to the already existing annual passes.
I think so.
That would make the most sense. You don't really want to stretch your guests too thin, because then they can't spend money on merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $174 to $179 per day for a 1-day ticket.
For non-pass holder, right?
For a non-pass holder, yeah.
We
Yeah,
were
so you
sitting
save about
in,
$40.
we were sitting in Ministry of Magic, and we're just like, we can't wait for them to add Epic to the annual passes, because we're now considering getting them so we can go back when we want to.
Yeah, and we already talked about it. No matter what they charge, we're just getting them. So we're hoping it's not too outrageous. But what's reasonable? I don't know, $50 more per person? I don't know.
And as I scroll down, and if I look into September, they're actually $139 during the week.
Oh, so I wonder if that's less for pass holders.
Yeah, pass holders got to be less than that. So something to think about. I don't know. We don't have plans on going, but that could change.
It'll change. I know you.
Yes. That bug bites pretty hard. Well, Aaron, I appreciate that preview of Epic, and appreciate you going today just so that you could report on it on the show. I know that's why you went.
That's the whole reason I went.
Yeah.
I
sent
fully,
our roving reporter out.
I fully predicted the DIZPod being moved up one day so I could report fresh.
That's right.
It all worked out. Right? It worked out perfectly. Don't you love that?
So how about we do the news with the three of us?
We can do that. Let's just jump over to Jen W's question first. She says, Aaron, do you know if they are offering express passes for Epic?
I know a lot of the attractions had express lines, so I assume they will be offering express pass. How quickly they turn that on and everything, I don't know. But I do know that a lot of the attractions had express lines, and actually, a lot of the attractions had single rider lines as well.
I heard about that. That's huge. Now,
Nearly every ride I saw had a single rider line.
Universal being Universal and Disney being Disney, and we know how it's gone with the DAS, the disability rights. Do you think or know if Epic is going to entertain that just like Universal does?
I honestly don't know. I know that they are still a Universal park, so I assume that the
Would be the same.
AAP will work the same that it works at USF and
I would-
IOA.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Sure. Well, let's say this. We'll get to the news then, and we can say this. The news is brought to you by our sponsors, Disney Adventure Home. Did you know, Lawrence, that you can stay off property for starting at like $149 a night with like a 3-bedroom, super comfortable beds, private pool, and off-property amenities like a water park and things like that, all in this little community. Beautiful townhouses.
But does it have a Mickey pool?
Not only does it have a Mickey pool, it lights up at night and it changes the colors of Mickey, which is really weird. Like Tammy and I were tripping on that. Like, oh, Mickey has green shorts now. Mickey has red shorts. Mickey has yellow shorts. It was weird the way the lights interact. Great stay. We've stayed there before, and it's just 6 minutes from Disney. So if you're planning on ever staying on Disney property and you have the size family that can fit this, you really shouldn't look any further. We stayed there. We tried it. We loved it. We know the owners. They're amazing. And you got to try it. So it's Disney Adventure Home. You can go right onto our website or in the description of every single podcast and live stream and video. Their information is right there. Click on it. There's a code there you can use and get, I think, 10% off for LID as well.
Very nice.
Look no further than that. And if you want to really stay and buy a home near Disney, if you're looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard, Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC, and he is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 15 years of experience in the Disney area home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So what are you waiting for? Visit celebratingflorida.com to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with Victor. Your dream home is just a click away. And now the news.
Oh, I booted the. Oh, how'd you end up over there?
I don't know. We're all over. I'm a free spirit tonight.
What are you, Madam Leota?
You're right.
Yes.
So
Tales of a
rope
rat.
drop, which Cory and I don't know much about. I don't know how much.
No,
rope
I
dropping
put the
Epic
rope
does.
up.
Yeah. So there's a new process, new procedure at Magic Kingdom. So on-site guests will be able to enter at 7:45, get in line for their favorite attraction. This is different. Normally, you had to wait behind a rope on the bridge. When early entry officially begins, which is typically 8:30, you'll be able to board the attraction. Off-site guests will still be held behind the ropes and allowed to enter the park or enter the lands when the park officially opens at typically 9 o'clock. Any thoughts on that change for us non-rope droppers?
I think it's a good idea. I don't know. Maybe you get less. Maybe they're doing it because there'll be less of a crowd stuck together and just pushing their way towards their favorite attractions, which I'm sure everybody goes to all the same ones. There's a handful of ones where people want to get to, and maybe it just will cut down on the chaos a little bit. And
Yeah.
people knowing this going forward can show up and just casually get over to Mine Train or wherever they'd like to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
For me, and I can only speak for myself, my strategy doesn't change. I want to see the rope drop show. I want to see Let the Magic Begin.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So does that mean we lose that?
I don't
No,
know.
I don't think so.
Okay. So you would just stay. You would just stay there, watch it.
I would just stay in
and
the
then-
I would just stay in the hub. I want to see Let the Magic Begin because for me, that's a perfect start to my day at Magic Kingdom if I'm rope dropping.
Yeah, agreed. Excuse me. So next, the DVC Lounge in Magic Kingdom, its first DVC Lounge, is now open. It is open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I think it looks pretty good. There's a lot of calls to, oh goodness, I can't remember his name, but the owner of Big Thunder Mountain, who looks
Tony Baxter.
he looks like Tony Baxter, but he's got like a, I don't know.
Yeah, he's a character. He was a
Yeah.
character in a comic book or whatever, and they made him like the bad guy.
Right. So he's got a picture in there, and there's a little bit of a story to it. So I kind of like that. This was not planned to be open until summer, and it has opened this past week.
Pressure from Epic.
Maybe.
No, I'm surprised at the theming. That totally caught me off guard. But great theming. It blends with Frontierland. But guess what? It speaks to me as immediately when I saw it. We're not getting a New Orleans area.
No, exactly right.
They're committed right there to Frontierland. So Frontierland is going nowhere.
Yep. That
do you
when
think,
I
Aaron?
saw the theming, that's the first thing I thought is it's sticking Frontier.
I almost wish I could step aside and see it.
Yeah. So the Easter eggs are out at Grand Floridian. I'm going to remove us here real quickly so you can see that last one of Orange Bird there. This is just
Look
a
at Orange
sampling.
Bird.
Just a sampling, but you've got some really good ones, including Zootopia, Steamboat, and Madame Leota, and Orange Bird. And there's quite a few others. Either of you have plans to go see these and stream them?
How long will they be available?
Well, they're Easter eggs. I assume they would be available through Easter, at least.
I have to admit, I never know when Easter starts or ends. I just don't. It's all over the place.
Sunday. Easter Sunday this year is April 20th.
There you go.
Okay. I would say I'll leave the door open to most likely we always do it every year. So, yeah, maybe a Saturdays where we'll be at Magic Kingdom. We can start the stream over there at Grand Floridian and show them. So I would say there's a 99% chance we'll do that.
We have plans to show it on Magical Horizons.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy new content to do, and what do we do best? We love flocking to the easy new content. So,
Yep.
And see them for ourselves. And we now know where the Steamboat Willie boat was the other night for Fantasmic, sitting in the lobby of Grand Floridian.
It was in the Grand.
They just had had to pull it over there so that they could model the Easter egg, and then when they were done, they put it back in the show.
Yes.
Testing has begun on Test Track. The cars could be heard zooming by. Aaron caught that last night on his stream. So, and it's been reported obviously by a lot of other folks there. So, yeah, very excited to finally hear. And you know what's funny? I didn't even really think of that. Like, when testing has to start, we're going to be able to hear it because it's on the outside. And so here we are, finally getting closer to Test Track opening.
I
With
can
that
say
said, Aaron, did it sound different to you?
the vehicles themselves, no.
Yeah.
It was nice to hear that familiar sound again. We were literally walking across Epcot. We were over by Odyssey, and I don't remember where we were going. I had to go back to the stream. But we were walking somewhere over by the Odyssey, and they suddenly started zooming by. About 5 of them did, and I just had this kind of finally a familiar sound again.
You know what that tells me? Pass holder previews by May. What do you think?
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
Definitely.
So very,
definitely.
very exciting. We should know
It's
more.
been ahead of schedule for a long time. It's been ahead of schedule for probably 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is great. I love hearing things are ahead of schedule.
Right?
So
the
we
epic
now can visit Geo 82 very soon. Geo 82 is going to be the name of the Spaceship Earth Lounge that's up there behind Spaceship Earth. And it will be adult only. You will have to be 21 and older to enter.
I wonder how they're going to run that. I mean, do you just give your name and, there's a wait time to come back? Reservations? Probably reservations, right? Because Space 220 for the lounge is reservations, right? They never come up on the app.
I honestly don't know. I haven't been to 220.
We did the
I haven't
lounge
either.
once, and I think it was through the app that we found a reservation. But that is one tough cookie to get on the MDE. It's really hard.
I remember when Oga's was hard to get.
Yeah.
Still is.
What's been real easy lately? Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater. Every Saturday I look, there's plenty. And I'm like, why is that happening? Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Little strange on that end. Trend. Maybe it'll change.
But, with as much as Epcot is known for drinking around the world, this is the first adult only lounge. So this will be kind of interesting to see how this plays out. I love it. I can't wait to see it. There's a lot of calls
excited
to Spaceship Earth in it.
Because for us, when we go to the park spot, Ariel, Epcot's usually where we go, and this would be a good place for me and Roxy to have kind of a date night, almost.
Yep.
There are big windows there, and we know it's gonna face out towards America, basically, right, as the deepest part of that.
Yeah,
view.
it's gonna overlook World Celebration Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I
I
almost
used to
think it would be
say-
made better by being open air, like they could open those windows, slide them open on beautiful nights. That would be nice. But
I
it'll
used
still
to
be a great
say
view.
that if I lived in Florida and worked from home, you would know where to find me Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It would be right in World Celebration Gardens. And then when I finish my day, I just go right there. Just go right to Geo 82. That's where you'll find me at night.
Yep.
Catherine start texting us. Where is he? Where is he? He's at Epcot.
He's at Epcot. Hey, we've got some Disney Plus news. Not Just a Goof is going to be a documentary exploring the untold story and the making of a Goofy movie. And that's coming out April 7th. So that'll be pretty cool because that's as it says, the cult classic.
Aaron's got to love it.
I was just about to say, Goofy movie is actually one of my top 3 movies from the 90s from Disney, and so this makes me ecstatic because I'm kind of a geek about the behind the scenes stuff. I am that person. I go through all the special features when I buy a DVD or Blu-ray. I listen to the film commentary, so this type of stuff makes me happy.
Absolutely. I love
If
that
Dave
stuff
says
too.
I'll
as a
probably
kid.
get carded. He's probably right.
By the way, on Disney Plus, right behind the scenes, there's finally another season coming up of I can't remember the title, but it's
Behind
like
the
behind the
attractions.
attraction, maybe.
Yeah.
I think there's another season coming up.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes, I love
They've
those.
been
So well done.
on Instagram. They've been doing some little teasers. They actually had one today about Carousel of Progress, and it was a cast member talking about Carousel of Progress, how the stage is sloped so that you can see the whole show and all this different stuff. So, yeah, maybe that's where that's coming from. Maybe there is another season coming out soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can check Disney Plus to check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's coming out. So that'll be pretty cool.
That'll
And
be cool.
the cool thing about that show, and it's for me, it was a big deal too. The nice added caveat to that was the girl that narrated it, the woman that narrated it. Whoever wrote that, she's funny. I thought she was funny. Her humor was good, subtle enough, but funny to go along with the interesting stuff of how things are done.
Yeah. So this is a show that was past my time period.
Me too.
I sold the Power Rangers toys, action figures. I didn't watch the show. But apparently there's a new Power Ranger series being created for Disney Plus. So
I am a millennial, so I did grow up during this era, during the original Power Rangers.
That's about what I figured. So since you did watch them, do you? What are your thoughts on a new series?
How do I put this? I'm excited for the people that really enjoy it. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I was never personally that into it, but for those that are into it, they're big fans of it. I'm excited for them.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, it looks like Disney's dipping into the back catalog now, right? Because Phineas and Ferb are also coming back with the original cast. So that's pretty cool stuff.
They had topiaries this year. I know you've probably seen them, but it was interesting to me. They had topiaries.
Yeah. And
yes, they did.
Moana.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Moana 2 came into Disney Plus with 27.3 million views in the first 5 days, making it the biggest premiere for Disney Animation Studios film since Encanto, and also makes it the third largest animated theatrical premiere of all time on Disney Plus. That's pretty crazy.
We contributed to that.
That is nuts. I never would have thought about that. That would. Well, I mean, guess that's a lot of views, and that just goes on the popularity of Moana right now. She is probably the top princess for Disney right now. I mean, when you watch Fantasmic, who gets the loudest response? I always wait for Moana to come out when you have a lively crowd, because nobody goes. They don't go any louder than they do for Moana. So she's at the top of the game, the princess game right now. So I guess that's really not that surprising. But at the same time, I don't know what Aaron thought, but part 2 was nowhere near as good as the first one. But she's popular right now. So,
like I said, I can only speak for myself. As for me, we enjoyed it. I think I personally still prefer number 1, like you said, but I definitely enjoyed number 2.
Yep.
Enough people did, because man, that's a lot of views.
That's a lot of views. 27 million views. That's a lot. All right. So let me talk about what's coming up on our podcast here. That's not it. So we have... We're approaching 100 episodes now, and so we're gearing up for that. I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes on that. But the next coming weeks, we're going to talk about, next week is Hidden Mickeys, right?
Hidden Mickeys, get ready.
So that'll be a fun little show to do. So we're going to do Hidden Mickeys. We're going to talk all about Hidden Mickeys in the parks. And then we also have another live streamer, Adventures by Carney, that's going to be joining us in a couple weeks. And And we're also going to talk about the Disney College program coming up in a couple weeks. And we have an episode coming up on April 1st. And April 1st is known as April Fool's Day. I've got a fun show, I think. A fun show idea lined up for that one. So Cory and I will be putting that all together, and we're going to have some fun with that.
Sounds great.
Yep.
That sounds less dangerous with these two.
It should be fun. All right. Anything else? Oh, what are we doing now that we've flipped the whole schedule? So tomorrow we will be at Magic Kingdom for Rare Thursdays. So excited for that. Saturday, where are you?
I think we're sticking with Magic again.
Okay.
Only because I always think ahead, right? We are doing Epcot the following Saturday, so I don't want to do it two Saturdays in a row. And I am going solo on Saturday. Shirley will join me if I think Shirley's going to try to join me. So we might throw something in there to make it differently. Might get a dinner to do. So
Okay.
we'll
So
see.
that's
I got to see
Saturday.
if the boss approves. Yeah.
I can say that I won't join you.
You will not join me?
I won't be able to join you. I work Saturday, so
Oh, I didn't think you did.
I don't usually work Saturday, but I picked up a shift this week on Saturday.
Oh, okay. Good.
And
You might see
Sunday,
me when you're coming in.
Where are you going to be Sunday, Aaron?
Magic as well.
Okay, folks, so if you like Magic Kingdom, stick with us because you're going to have it Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we're missing Friday. What are we going to do on Friday? Well, if you have nothing to do at 9 o'clock, come join me. I'll be on the Pete McDevitt Show talking news and merch. So that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Make sure you wear a Magic Kingdom shirt so we can tie it all in.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, don't wear an ET shirt. That won't make much sense. Yeah, so tomorrow night we'll be at Magic Kingdom. Friday, you can catch me on the Pete McDevitt Show. Pete is an absolute friend of the channel, a friend of Cory's, friend of mine, great guy, and he's asked me to come on the show to talk news and merch with everybody on the panel, and to also be able to talk to his folks about living in Diz and what we do over there. So, if those of you that are around Friday night, come and join us on the Pete McDevitt Show, because that'll be a lot of fun. To see some familiar faces from our channel in there.
And a week from tomorrow, I'll put out the Zoom call invite. But for all our qualifying LID VIPs, we'll be doing our Zoom call next Thursday.
So lots of fun coming up. Aaron, any final words?
Thanks for having me on. I think I went back. I haven't been on the DIZPod since like episode 3.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been a while. So thanks for having me back on. Yeah, just make sure you come check us out. I know we already have a lot of crossover from the Living in Diz viewing family, but if you don't, you're missing out on more family shenanigans from a different family.
It's absolutely right. Ariel
absolutely
is a roller coaster enthusiast. She loves Slinky Dog.
Oh yeah,
she does. And we put Aaron's link in the chat, so if you want to check out his channel, check that out. And he does typically stream on Sundays. Always subject to change. They're always tweaking it and thinking about where else they want to stream or what days. So do that, hit the notification bell, and decide if you want to continue on with Magical Horizons. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Aaron. We appreciate it and switching your schedule for us. I know it's kind of crazy.
Yes.
If we weren't
thanks for going
dedicated to
Epic.
you, yeah, that was amazing.
I think
that was a great
I was in
addition.
line for. I was in line for. I think Minecart Madness when you texted me the first time about, hey, can you change it up?
Oh wow. Oh, you should have sent me a photo. Hello, Stephanie Keel. Welcome.
No photos.
I couldn't. I was on a strict can't do anything.
All right.
We don't
Well,
want anybody.
All right,
getting-
everyone. Thank you so much for watching us live. We do it live because we do it for you. And again, we also love everyone so much who joins us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple, and also Amazon, right? And
Yes.
Amazon as well. And we'll be working on Starlink. Wink, wink. So that's it. That's good. So I guess what? Have we said it all, done it all?
Yes, we have. I'm just going to pull that link for the Friday show. When this show ends, it's going to link you right to tomorrow's live stream, so you'll be able to see that. But I'm going to put the Friday link in there for Pete's channel, just in case you want to come over and support me on Pete's show. But otherwise, yeah.
Stephanie's writing the show when I'm on the CCC
Oh, when you're
show.
on, I love that. Love that. Yes.
So is that what happened? Like did somebody write your stuff?
No.
Or what is she writing?
So
stuff
their
for Pete
show,
to say?
No, their show is a lot different. Those of you that don't know, Pete does like 18 different shows a week. And so one of them is the Triple C show. It really should be the Triple She show.
Yeah, I am going to be on that show. Yeah, like September 7th or something. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So she's writing that show.
Nice,
because
Stephanie.
that's more of an interview show. So that's pretty cool that she's writing that one. Now the one I'm on is news
fun.
and merch, and then the one I just did was Two Truths and a Lie, which was a lot of fun.
I'll have to see if I can get Tammy
July.
to come on the CCC show with me.
Yes. That'll be great.
Yeah. She says they write the storyboard. Fun.
Yeah, they do a
Man,
great
I
job
can
over
really get people on two truths and a lie. I could really get some people on some
there.
things.
Call Pete.
Yeah.
Call Pete.
I could really stump some people.
Yeah.
You stump me here and there, even though I know a lot of things you've been up to. Tammy caught me. She's like, you were cheating. You waited for me to answer, and then you would answer. I'm like, yeah, on some of them. Oh, Tammy said 2? All right, it must be 2.
No, there was one. The answers were 1, 2, and 3, and you put C. It's like, that's not
I did
a
it
choice.
first, yeah. Before he gave the choice of numbers. I'm like,
Yeah.
C. Definitely C. Yes.
No,
Stephanie Keel, I am honored that you asked to write that show. That's amazing.
Oh, I love that.
Looking forward to it.
Love that.
All right. Until next time, everyone, we're just a couple of bros talking Disney tonight, plus Aaron. So
Good night,
have a
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow from Magic.
See you real soon.
DIZPod, where the magic's here to stay.